Right now, over 268,000 Ontario households are stuck on an affordability housing list. Many have been waiting for years. That's nearly the entire population of Vaughan, just waiting. Not for luxury condos, just for somewhere safe, livable, and affordable. And while families are crammed into basement rentals, governments have spent years swapping blame and breaking promises. I'm Linda, one of the Ragona Sisters, and if you've been feeling stuck in this market, it's not just you. There's a reason homes feel out of reach, and it starts here. So like this video, subscribe if you're tired of the spin, and stick with me because the system that was supposed to fix this crisis is barely delivering 6% of what it promised. So let's rewind for a second here. Back in 2017, the federal government launched the National Housing Strategy. Not sure if you heard about it, but it was a 10-year span, $82 billion, and a bold promise that safe, affordable housing would finally be treated like the essential it is. Every province signed up. Ontario committed to building nearly 20,000 affordable homes by 2025. So how many did Ontario actually build? Just 1,184 out of the 20,000 homes that they committed to. That's it. If this were a school assignment, Ontario wouldn't just fail, they'd be expelled. And it gets worse. After years of missing deadlines and dodging updates, Ottawa finally froze $357 million in funding. They said, show us progress or get cut off. So we got cut off. Doug Ford's team claimed the federal strategy was too rigid. Ottawa responded, results or nothing. It was a housing standoff, and families were caught up in the middle. But in June of 2025, the deal changed. New terms, new rules, and for the first time, real consequences. New mechanisms include annual progress reports, municipal-based tracking instead of provincial averages. That's a good thing. Stronger enforcement if Ontario fails again. Ottawa can cut the pipeline. Sounds like a turning point, right? Maybe, but here's what most people don't realize. While federal funds were flowing into the province, Ontario actually cut its own investment in community housing significantly, and that was between 2018 and 2023. And while that was happening, homelessness costs exploded by 80%. This is why we are seeing what we're seeing in Ontario. More homelessness, more beggars at every corner. The whole landscape had changed. So instead of building affordable homes, we started spending more and more on shelters, emergency services, and crisis response. It's like ignoring a flood and just buying more mops. And no one was tracking results in real time until now. Although the New Deal forces Ontario to submit annual progress reports, the clock is ticking. And this is why it matters so much to you, because when affordable housing isn't built, rents go up, more families compete for fewer homes, buyers get pushed out, tent encampments rise, and an entire neighborhood starts to shift. In the GTA, we're seeing it already. Homes that should fit one family are now housing 4 students or 3 families. Short-term rentals are replacing long-term leases. Developments stall, builders back out, and families, just like yours, are stuck waiting. Okay, check this out. Even though this new deal gives Ottawa power to hold Ontario accountable, the actual 2025 and 2028 plan still falls short. Let me break it down. Ontario's updated promise says just 28% of its remaining targets will be delivered by 2028. That's not even half. They also say progress will be tracked by regions. Municipalities of Ontario will finally have build scorecards. And here's the carrot. Cities that hit zoning targets and move fast could get direct support from Ottawa. Sounds great on paper, but paper won't solve this problem. Because you can't fix a broken pipeline just by pouring more money into it. This whole system needs structural change. If Ontario misses again, We're not just looking at housing failure, we're looking at a leadership failure, and I strongly believe that. Here's why. Young people are putting up starting families because they can't find space. Seniors can't afford to downsize or move closer to family. Immigration targets keep rising, but supply stays flat. And investors, many have pulled back entirely. And I want to be clear about something. Affordable housing isn't just for low-income families. It stabilizes the entire market. When there's supply across every level, pressure eases on the top, the middle, and the bottom. It's like a traffic jam. Remove the bottleneck and everything moves so much smoother. But if we keep missing targets, this pressure just keeps building. So what needs to happen now? Let me give you our take. First, Ontario needs transparent city-level reporting. We need public access to progress. We tracked COVID numbers just fine for so many years. We can absolutely track housing numbers too. No more vague updates. We should be able to see what Ontario has built, what's in progress, and what's failed. Just like a housing dashboard. Second, service managers need power to move fast and to track funding. If the site is shovel ready, the money should follow right away. And finally, if a city drags its feet, relocate its funds to someone that's actually building. Because this isn't a technological issue, it's a willpower issue, a leadership issue, and a red tape issue. Honestly, with the right leadership in place, our federal government could operate at a fraction of its current size, maybe even 10%, and still be effective. We waste way too much money in bureaucracy. Provinces should have more control to make decisions that actually reflect their unique needs and realities in their province, because every province is definitely unique. All right, listen up, because this part matters. The housing strategy that was supposed to reshape Ontario's market, it left thousands behind. Even with a second chance, Ontario's not promising to deliver half of what it owes. That means for the next 3 years, waitlists will grow, prices will stay sticky, and affordability, it's still a moving target. But here's the opportunity. If you're a buyer, a seller, or an investor who understands the real story behind the headlines, you can make smarter moves. You can spot the gaps before they widen. You can find value where others only see chaos. I know I get a lot of comments and people say there isn't any, but there truly is. But you need to know where they are, how they're zoned, and what's getting fast-tracked in that area. But unless Ontario stops treating housing like a PR problem and starts treating it like an infrastructure, like a healthcare, like an education, we're going to keep spinning in circles. Because when teachers and nurses can't afford to live in the cities they serve, when families are one bad month away from displacement, and when homeownership feels like a fantasy, we haven't just missed the target, we've lost the plot. This is why we track this stuff, because it affects our clients, our community, and even our own families. We're not here to sugarcoat anything. We're here to make housing real again. If you want to stay ahead of the curve in this market, hit like and share this video with someone who's been priced out or pushed out. And subscribe if you're ready to see real estate through a whole new lens. Because in this market, knowledge isn't just powerful, it's profitable. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.